A woman sat across from Dr. John Christopher, her hands folded tightly in her lap. She'd already been told how the story was supposed to end. Three children, all delivered by C-section, cesarean, heavy scar tissue, complications, risk stacked upon risk. And the conclusion had been made very clear to her. Another pregnancy just wouldn't be difficult. It might even cost her life and the child. Most people would have accepted that, but she didn't come here to accept it. She came because something deep inside her was not settled. She truly wanted another child, not just in passing, but with all her heart. And Dr. Christopher didn't rush to correct her or shut down the conversation. He listened. Then, instead of offering something complex or dramatic, he gave her a very simple direction. Something that at first glance might have seemed almost too ordinary to matter. He told her to begin drinking red raspberry leaf tea. Not once in a while, not occasionally, but consistently, several cups a day. Along with that, he recommended supportive measures, things that worked with the body rather than against it. Nothing aggressive, nothing forced, just steady and intentional support. So she followed that guidance. Day after day, week after week, she stayed with it. And over time, something began to shift. Her body responded differently. Her next pregnancy progressed in a way that she'd been told wasn't possible. And when the time came, she delivered naturally. Then it happened again and again. Four more children born at home without the outcome that she had been warned to expect. When you hear a story like that, it's easy to get caught up in the result and start asking questions like, was it really the tea or was it just luck? Was this all coincidence? But what matters more, especially when you spend some time studying traditional herbalism, is the pattern. Now, I'm not telling you this is some kind of guarantee, and I'm certainly not presenting it as something you should expect every time. But I am sharing it as it was taught, directly from Dr. Christopher's own clinical experience and the many accounts preserved through his work. When you look into traditional herbalism, you don't usually find one dramatic miracle. You find patterns repeated over and over again. During my training as a master herbalist through the School of Natural Healing founded by Dr. Christopher, these kinds of accounts weren't presented as isolated miracles. They were presented as repeated observations from years of clinical work where certain plants kept showing up in the same kinds of situations, and red raspberry leaf was one of those plants. This is not rare or exotic, and it is certainly not a complicated plant, but it was consistently used and especially recommended by midwives and traditional practitioners when the woman's body needed support in one of its most demanding processes. There's an account from an elderly nurse who spent over 3 decades delivering babies, not in controlled hospital environments, but in homes, across unpredictable conditions, thousands of births. And through all that experience, she relied upon something simple: red raspberry leaf tea. She described using it during labor, not to force anything, not to rush anything, but to support the body when things weren't progressing smoothly. Over time, she observed something interesting. Labors that began to feel disorganized began to settle with red raspberry. The body seemed to respond more effectively, even in situations where positioning was not ideal. She noticed that things would often shift in a way that led to a smoother delivery. Now, again, whether someone hears that and immediately believes every detail, it's not really the point. What matters is this. When you look across decades of real world experience, this plant kept being used in the same context with similar observations. And that's where traditional knowledge starts to carry some weight. There are plenty of other cases too. One woman had struggled for years with extremely intense monthly cycles. They were so severe that each month they would take her out of normal life for days at a time. This had been going on since she was young, and like so many others, she tried different approaches without any lasting relief. Eventually, she was introduced to the simple routine: drink red raspberry leaf regularly, not as a one-time fix, but a consistent part of her daily life. And over time, something began to change. The difficult pattern she dealt with for years started to ease. Her body became more regulated, her digestion improved, and even her overall well-being changed in ways that she didn't expect. Didn't happen overnight. It did happen steadily. Now, when you consider how this herb has been traditionally recognized and used, the language is pretty specific. Dr. Christopher classified this as an astringent herb, which in simple terms means that it has a tendency to tighten and tone tissues that have become slack, relaxed, or weakened, not by forcing contraction, but by restoring balance. Dr. Christopher taught that it had a particular affinity for the reproductive system, red raspberry leaf, and that it worked in a way which supported tone, coordination, and function, not forcing the body, not overriding it, but helping it respond more effectively. And that idea, tone, is something we've largely lost in modern thinking. Certainly in the white coat world, we tend to think in extremes. Something either speeds it up or shuts it down, forces it or suppresses it. But traditional systems paid attention to something more subtle, whether the body was functioning in a coordinated, balanced way or not, whether it was responsive or struggling. And red raspberry leaf was consistently associated with helping to restore that responsiveness, certainly for the reproductive system. You see this same idea echoed in other traditions outside of clinical settings. There are accounts of women who have suffered multiple miscarriages and then began drinking the tea early in pregnancy and whom were able to carry to term successfully. Stories of women who had a difficult first birth only to experience a much smoother second labor after using the tea consistently. Even farmers noticed that animals given certain herbal preparations delivered more easily and quietly passed that knowledge to others. I experienced that myself with my goats. When my goats were pregnant, I would always give them red raspberry leaf, and certainly after they had delivered when they were lactating, my goats who had red raspberry leaf, when I started supplementing that in the pregnant goats diet, they had very easy parturition. They gave birth with ease and with a good speed. They weren't laboring ineffectively for hours and hours. They gave birth to their babies, and they were able to pass their placentas with incredible ease, and then they had sufficient milk supply. So I can attest to that as well in my own experience, and also in my experience working with moms for years in a natural childbirth, labor, and delivery setting. I can also testify that the mothers who had red raspberry leaf tea in sufficient quantities throughout their pregnancy and definitely postpartum, they definitely seem to have an easier job of not only getting pregnant, but staying pregnant and then delivering the baby and then also having sufficient milk supply afterwards. Red raspberry, Rubus idaeus, is a graceful perennial shrub that grows quietly in hedges, although it definitely has its thorns. It grows along sunny hillsides and thickets and in dappled light of the woodland edges. You definitely see it that way up here in Appalachia. It sends up slender, arching cranes that can reach 6 feet tall, covered in fine, soft prickles. The leaves are compound, usually with 3 to 5 serrated oval leaflets. They have a silvery white underside. There's like almost a mist, it seems, or this slight, it almost looks like a powdery haze on the canes. In early summer, it produces delicate clusters of small, five-petaled white flowers with bright yellow centers. And later, these give way to the familiar and wonderfully tasting bright red berries. As tasty as those berries are, it's the leaf that's been prized for years amongst midwives, mothers, and traditional herbalists. Now, one of the things Dr. Christopher actually advocated was that families who were looking to become pregnant, that both the man and the woman would be drinking sufficient amounts of red raspberry leaf. This, even though it has been called the friend of women, it is by no means relegated to only benefiting women's reproductive system. Dr. Christopher maintained that the regular consumption of good, strong herbal infusion of red raspberry leaf tea is helpful not only for supporting the woman and her uterus and her ovaries and in overall the cycle of fertility with the woman, but also the man. And so I actually had a student come to class several years ago, and it was fascinating. He and his wife shared the story with me that they had tried for years to conceive and had spent so much money. And then ultimately, they decided that this is what they were going to do. They were going to try one last round of attempts. And so what they did was they made an herbal infusion of red raspberry leaf tea, and they each drank it, both of them, during the day. So they took 1 ounce of the red raspberry leaf tea and they poured boiling water over it to fill a half-gallon mason jar, and they let it steep overnight. And then each one of them drank that half-gallon's worth pressed out in the morning every day. So they were committed. They were committed. But guess what? They had multiple children when they came to class and said hello, and I got to meet them. So, and it was really just amazing to see more stories in person. But I can definitely testify that throughout my work as a nurse, working with families in labor and delivery, that red raspberry leaf is definitely loved by women carrying children, looking to conceive, but also families as well who are in that stage of life where they're looking for it. And Dr. Christopher advocated taking it for years before. So one of his perspectives was that once a young woman transitions from girl into maiden, that with that change of life, when her menstrual cycle starts up, that red raspberry leaf be one of the teas that she be introduced to, just as a support for the system. Now, one of the interesting things about red raspberry leaf is that it's rich in citrate of iron. And from an absorption standpoint, a lot of women struggle, particularly in their menstruating years, with iron deficiency anemia. And the interesting thing about the iron that is present in red raspberry leaf is that in its configuration of iron citrate, citrate of iron, it's also present with vitamin C. And so we know from nutritional analysis that vitamin C being present helps to facilitate the uptake of iron into the body. So it's obvious to me that the creator put this plant here for us for our benefit, that we would use it, and that specifically that women could benefit from this. Another interesting thing that red raspberry leaf has, even though it is technically an astringent, it's also a galactagogue. And so that's a fancy term for effectively milk and lactation support. But red raspberry leaf, particularly for women postpartum who are struggling with their milk supply for whatever reason, especially if there is a history of insufficient milk supply from former pregnancies and from attempts at lactation, this should definitely be something to consider because red raspberry leaf supports plentiful breast milk. And it is considered one of the gold standards, really, in helping to support breast milk, but also to support convalescence postpartum of women, particularly who've had multiple children. And going back to the astringent properties of red raspberry leaf, we talked about tone earlier, and that nourishing quality of toning the reproductive system and supporting the reproductive system becomes that much more important for a woman convalescing postpartum, certainly if she has multiple children, because the woman's body can become fatigued long term, particularly with childbearing with children close together. And if that woman is not really getting a whole lot of support around the house and she's having to care for multiple children and doing a lot of lifting and moving and is not resting appropriately, it can strain tremendously her body and lead to things, for instance, like pelvic organ dysfunction, pelvic organ prolapse, and overall pelvic floor dysfunction. And part of the benefit of red raspberry leaf is in supporting and nourishing these tissues in the body. And historically, midwives and herbalists, traditional herbalists of old, utilized this herb for women, not only in pregnancy, but especially in postpartum and convalescence because of those nourishing and tonifying properties. This is something that I actually drink regularly as a woman, and I testify that it is very, very good. If you are used to drinking tea anyway, if you're a Southerner and you're used to drinking tea, you can make yourself red raspberry leaf tea and then cut your regular tea, your orange pekoe tea, 50-50 with it, and you really won't notice the difference, in my opinion. It is very rich in tannins, so your lips will be smacking. Now, a note too, I would recommend that if you're sensitive to tannins, that you have red raspberry leaf not on an empty stomach, because particularly if you make it very, very strong, it can lead you to just a little bit of nausea, again, if you are tannin sensitive. But it is, again, a wonderful plant. It also has the wonderful impact of tonifying the tissues in the mouth and also the upper respiratory tract. So it's very useful for a sipping tea during cold cough flu season, sipped warm. And also in the summertime, it's wonderful as an iced tea as well. And so if you're going to make the herbal infusion, the standard preparation that I use is 1 ounce of the dried, cut and sifted leaf in a half-gallon mason jar with boiled water poured over it and let to steep overnight, then pressed down in the morning. You can also use a large French press to do that. I do that as well. So that is definitely the easiest way, I think, to prepare red raspberry leaf tea. It is a absolutely wonderful, nourishing tea that many, many people can benefit from. And I think it's a great plant really to get yourself started with. If you're not used to working with these herbs, red raspberry leaf tea is a wonderful herbal infusion to start with. So the next time that you see that plant, whether it's growing wild along a fence or in the backyard garden or on the edge of a meadow, it might be worth remembering that the value of red raspberry isn't just the fruit. It's the role that it's played quietly from generations of real life use. If you like this video and if it gave you a different perspective on red raspberry, go ahead and share it and pass it along with someone who you know would appreciate it. Perhaps a woman in your life who is either entering her childbearing years, just starting along her path of maidenhood, or, for instance, a woman whose body needs support from having multiple children. If you've enjoyed learning this way through real accounts, traditional use, and teachings that shaped herbal practice, you can subscribe to the channel. It is free to subscribe. Make sure you click that bell button. That way you get notified whenever we release a new video. I'm not going to spam you, only putting good content out here when I got it. If you found this valuable, please make sure and hit that like button as well. It does help more people come across this type of information and helps like-minded individuals get connected to good and important info. And remember, the best way to say thank you is referral. So if someone comes to your mind, make sure you share this video with them. And I appreciate y'all spending this time with me. Thank you for being here with me today. I hope that you got a lot of value out of learning about our friend red raspberry leaf. May the Lord bless and keep you all. For now, it's Patriot Nurse signing off, and I'll see y'all later.